Hello, and welcome to the Divorced Dadvocate, divorce support for dads, where we help dads create a healthy and less traumatic divorce. My name is Jude Sandoval, and I'm your host. I created this podcast in the Divorced Dadvocate community as a result of my own high conflict divorce, and because you as a dad deserve all the resources necessary to thrive through this challenging time. I encourage you to check out our website at thedivorcedadvocate.com, where there are resources that correspond to this episode, as well as free access to our membership community, where you will find live meetings, free workshops and courses, private discussion groups, and more. And now, on to this week's episode. Today, we have a special episode, and it is special because we have a repeat guest on today. And those of you who listen regularly will remember that the founder and CEO of Inner Matrix Systems, Joey Klein, was on about a month and a half ago, and he talked to us about his proprietary methodology on how you can rewire, train, and align your nervous system, emotions, and thought strategies to create real life results. It was a really awesome episode. It actually turned out to be one of our most popular episodes. And since then, there have been a ton of guys that dads like yourself and some of you that were listening that have gotten involved in the Inner Matrix Systems and have had some awesome real life results during the time that they're going through the divorces that they're going through right now. And so Joey and I talked, and we decided to try to emulate and demonstrate that how this actually works. And so he was gracious enough to agree to come on and do a live session with one of my clients, Tim, and take him through the Inner Matrix system. So what you're going to hear today is Joey working with Tim, and I highly encourage you to listen all the way to the end, because it is absolutely remarkable. Those of you watching on YouTube will see a marked difference in Tim's face and his body movements and his laugh. Those of you who are listening at the end, and Tim's just joyful, happy laugh is absolutely amazing. So, but before I tune you into that, don't forget the Divorced Dadvocate app is available now. Go to the divorcedadvocateapp.com. You can download it on Android or Apple, and there's some great resources in there. Or you can go to the website at thedivorcedadvocate.com, and under the Get the App tab, you can download it there as well. And then the divorce quiz, find out where you're at in your divorce compared to others who have gone through it. It takes about 10 minutes, and it's going to give you some immediate results as to 5 different categories: what you might be doing well, what you might be struggling with, and then a free opportunity for us to sit down and talk about those results together. Take advantage of those, a couple of those resources. And now I'm going to turn it over to our podcast recording of Joey Klein and the Inner Matrix Systems and my client, Tim. Hope you enjoy. Hi, Joey and Tim. Welcome to the show. So grateful for you to be here today. And Joey, let's give a little bit of background real quick. We did a recording of a podcast probably 3-4 weeks ago, maybe a little over a month ago, and we just had a phenomenal success with that. I think I don't know if I told you, but I told Caitlin in the first 3 days it was the most downloaded podcast that we had. So that was really fantastic and awesome. And I know that there's a bunch of guys that are listening, a bunch of the dads that are listening that have got involved with the Inner Matrix system. I met with one and talked with one on Monday that just got through his first power series, and he was talking about the next power series he's going to do and how he's going to take what he's learned and how it's been transformative in his life, and how he just wants to keep it going. So that's just 12 weeks or less. I had the same experience, and we talked about that on the last podcast. So I encourage anybody that's just tuning in for the first time, listening to Joey talk and what we're going to do today, to go back and listen to the first one. I think I'll find and put in the notes a link to that first podcast also. But what we talked about, Joey, was after that podcast is let's do something that kind of demonstrates for the listeners actually what this looks like. And you had a great idea, which is let's do a live session with somebody. So we figured this out, and Tim, who has been a client of mine for a couple of years, has graciously agreed to sit in session with you and talk through whatever you guys are going to talk through. So I want to encourage everybody listening to listen with an open mind about this process and the process that you're taking. I also want to just let everybody know you're not paying me anything to do this, because it's like I just want to keep this going, because I had such success with it. I've seen so many guys now over the past 3 to 6 months have so much success with this. And I want somebody to see what it's actually like in session and doing this with you and getting involved in Inner Matrix. So with that, just take it away, my friend. And I'm just going to be quiet.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for the intro. It's awesome to be here. I did not know that tidbit about the download, so I'm glad that people are gaining access and that we're helping people out at the end of the day. That's the goal. That's what I care about, is making sure we support as many people as we possibly can, especially with, transitionary life situations like what we're going to, speak to today, and giving people a playbook is really what I hope to accomplish here, not just with you, Tim, directly, but everybody who's listening. Like the same playbook, you can leverage that in lives in moments of transition in life, especially the unexpected ones that often find us, if you will. Things like separation, divorce is obviously like one of those. And so, we're just going to kind of jump in here with you, Tim. So happy and grateful to you for being willing to just jump on here and, work through some things in the manner that we are here. Hopefully we'll serve you in an impeccable way, and hopefully that'll carry over to helping up a lot of people through you. And so, for the last 20 years now, my obsession and my focus has really been one key thing, which is, what is the formula that has to come together, for transformation to happen, and if possible, instant transformation to occur. Like, what are those elements that have to happen? And essentially, I've my whole life's work has been about how to make that happen. And what I found is it really can boil down to kind of two things, right? Over the last 20 years, I've trained a little over 80,000 people now through our programs and seminars, and thousands of those I've interacted with one-on-one, just like I'm going to do with you here. And that question has been my burning passion, is like, what's that thing that has to come together for instant transformation to occur? And what I have found is it comes down to kind of two things. And it's essentially like, am I willing to stop doing something I'm currently doing? That's number one. And then number two is, am I willing to do something different than I've done before? And what I find is that if a person is willing to essentially believe that they can go beyond where they are, whether that's emotionally, mentally, physical circumstances, et cetera, if they're willing to just believe that a greater reality is possible, a greater outcome is available, and we're willing to do those two things, right? Like stop doing something we're currently doing, take new action, do something we haven't done before. Like those are the elements that are essentially required to create a significant shift, maybe an instant transformation, or to evolve as quickly as possible. So on the surface, does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. So why don't you just share with me just simply what you're inside of, right? If you were to just name what's happening and where your current challenge point is, what comes to mind? Where do you go with that question?
Yeah, that question is loaded, and I imagine for this conversation, I will aim to focus it towards literally the last couple of weeks. I had a finalizing of my divorce this last week, and it's not even been filed, so it's the tail end of a orchestrated agreement, right? A mediation agreement that's binding in Texas. I also had my business partner die 2 Sundays ago. And that was obviously surprising as well, because he was also tied to some major shifts in my life. And so his passing was completely unexpected, and it was a catastrophic event that took place. And so if you combine the devastation of a divorce with the closing of a seemingly straightforward business endeavor, I'm really in a prime place to take a different path because I don't have a choice in one sense. I'm pretty much ready to make some sort of change because I have to. My doors and options have closed.
Yeah. Fascinating how sometimes it just all hits us at once, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
And it is painful, by the way. And I'm not trying to sound, I would normally be much more emotional about it. But I think I'm still not done processing. And I think part of that is because of that fear that if I let go, what am I going to grab next?
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. And, in circumstances like the ones you're describing, right, those are two major life events that are happening, simultaneously, right? Like, oh my gosh, I lost this person that I was obviously very close to. And my marriage is like coming to a close. So I lost this other person that I was very close to, right? In different ways, like it's a loss in different ways. So that's a big deal, right? That's a big change. What I find is that it's okay to feel pain. Like, of course you're going to feel pain, right? You're going to have all kinds of different emotions show up in that space. So first of all, it's like, it's okay to feel and have like whatever feelings and emotions are coming up to surface and to come up. What's going to ultimately dictate the difference in terms of how you move through the next, weeks, months, years of your life is really how you're going to play the game, right? And I don't mean to use those words as a downplay, right? In terms of like to take away the severity, right, of what you just shared in terms of like losing somebody you're very close to in a relationship, your marriage transitioning in the way that it is. But what I mean by play the game is it's like the way we relate to the spaces in life are what determine what happens, right? Our experience of what's happening and ultimately the outcome. So as an example, like some people go into situations like this and they go, I failed, right? As so many men I've spoken to when a marriage ends, they go, oh my gosh, I failed. Like if I should have been better or I would have been better, then the marriage would have worked out. And if we go through the process with the perception that it's a failure, that's going to determine a certain experience and outcome, right? We could also own something like, hey, there's this change that I didn't expect. Like when we were getting married, we did not picture our divorce on our wedding day. Fair? Fair. Or at least we hope not. Right? And so this was not a planned event. Okay. Even though we might have saw it coming for some time and struggled and things like that. But it's like, we could also stop and go, okay, yes, it's challenging. I accept that. I could own the process as an opportunity. Opportunity to reinvent myself, opportunity to grow, opportunity to learn, opportunity to reinvent myself, right? Those two, right? And those aren't the only ways we could, obviously relate to its space. Those are just two examples of, how we could hold it, the events that are happening, how we could hold ourselves with things that are happening that are going to determine different ways of perceiving what's occurring and ultimately different awarenesses of what we're going to do. If I look at I'm a failure or here's an opportunity, those are two different paths. Is that fair? Does that make sense?
You can't even use the same language if you're going to build one versus the other. I'm going to have to change my entire lexicon at some level.
Yeah. And so that's what I mean by we want to get you a playbook. We want to get you some rules of the game here that are going to work in both these spaces in your life, because ultimately we have one life, so that you have a place to go to find kind of your own inner wisdom and guidance toward your next step that nudges you in the direction called transformation and growth and coming to realize everything that you deserve to know for yourself in your life, as opposed to accidentally relating to a space in life, like I'm a failure, in a way that nudges us in a place that we don't even realize we're driving toward, but can end up being quite devastating. Is that fair? Right? So what we're going to do to start is, like, you've done an awesome job kind of naming what's happening. Like, thank you for your courage. And like, I appreciate your authenticity and being willing to do this here with me. So now let's actually go out into the future, which can be a little challenging. And this is important because it's going to establish context. Whenever I have a challenging event in my life occur, I always take a moment, get a little quiet and go, well, where do I want to end up? What's my end game? And this is an important step because it gives us something other than just what's happening to focus on. So if you imagine your life 10 years from today, right? If you go out 10 years and let's just start with the space called the transition of your marriage, right? Romantic relationship. 10 years from today, what would you declare for yourself if you could declare anything and know that it would happen? That's the key, right? Belief. Give yourself permission to believe, which is sometimes the most challenging thing to do when things are sort of, things seem to be collapsing around us, right? Is to believe that like this passes and there's tomorrow, and it's better tomorrow than today and the past. And so if you give yourself permission to believe and you go, hey, if I were to declare or decide what I am going to come to realize, say 10 years from today, as it pertains to that space called romantic relationship, and you knew it would come true. Like if you declared it, you knew it was going to happen in 10 years. What would that vision be for yourself? Like what comes to mind as to what you would want to aspire to in the space called relationship?
I would enjoy a way of not even really identifying with my past, except for to acknowledge that it happened and that it taught me something forward into a better relationship and a more significant relationship and a more.
So I'm gonna pause you a moment here, right? Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
But if you take a note or just take a moment, where is the focus right now as you're communicating, right? I asked you, hey, what's your life look like 10 years from today? And what would the outcome be that you would create if you knew it was going to happen? And where do you notice your sharing's coming from right now? Would you call it past, present, or future?
Yeah. I was going to say past until you said past. I hear you. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, right, we're looking at what we want to go away, right? We're going, oh my gosh, I would want to be past this event. So that means I'm looking at what's currently happening. And I'm getting caught inside of maybe the painful events that have just probably occurred the last few months, as opposed to setting it aside for a moment and going, this is in my rearview mirror. Because like 10 years from today, hopefully this is a faint memory that's non-relevant to you anymore. Is that fair? Right? I meet men, I meet women who come to my trainings and my programs sometimes, and they're living their life 10 or 15 years after they've divorced as though it was yesterday. Right? Like we can get caught there when it comes to when it comes to trauma or when it comes to pain. Is that fair?
Ryan, I'm caught.
So this step ensures we don't, right? So imagine for a moment this never happened and you're creating it from scratch. What would the relationship be that you would aspire to? What would be most important for you to know in that relationship?
That I am a strong, capable, helpful lover. I am attentive. I am eager. I'm bonded with someone who is bonded to me, someone who values what I value, someone who loves my son like I love my son, someone who participates in life in the same way I do, someone who loves adventure. We're together on an adventure together. We're celebrating the highs and lows as if it didn't matter which way it went because we're together. We love because we're in love. We're embracing the highs and lows of love. I can see all those things. Yeah, I can see all those things. That's wild.
That was different, wasn't it?
That's way different. Yeah.
Now do a moment. Now capture this. Close your eyes a moment. And I want you to just focus on your body and your nervous system. And I want you to just express in one word, what do you feel as you're acknowledging those things?
Joy.
Yeah. Now do me a favor.
Gratitude, joy. They're back and forth.
Perfect. We'll call it grateful joy. That's your word, grateful joy. So now take just 3 big breaths for me and just focus on the experience of that sensation as you feel that grateful joy. Just 3 big breaths, just to help anchor it in your nervous system, just so you remember that feeling. Awesome. And then when you're ready, go and open your eyes. So now tell me something. That experience that you just accessed, would you say you were in the experience of grateful joy there?
I was. I absolutely was.
So in that moment that you were in the experience of grateful joy, do you notice that?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Jude with a quick reminder about the Divorced Advocate Foundation for Fathers, which is our nonprofit that helps dads through divorce with legal education, free or reduced cost coaching, and mental health resources. If you own a business or know someone who does, there's an easy way to help by connecting credit card processing through our partner program. Part of the fees go straight to the foundation with no added cost to the business, and 98% of businesses are actually able to save money on their processing fees. It's a win-win. So if you know a business that accepts credit cards, get them in touch with me by sending a warm introduction email to jude@thedivorcedadvocate.com or give me a call directly at 720-255-1021.
That the pain from the marriage and the loss of your friend was non-existent in that space, in that moment. Right? So from an inner sense, if we understand how to focus the mind, if we understand how to leverage our emotions, if we understand how the nervous system works, that's instant transformation for me. The ability to access what you just called for yourself, grateful joy, that moment was a transformation because the pain was no longer present. And you were in a completely different reality with yourself. Is that fair?
That is fair.
Okay. So that's not to say that the pain isn't going to show back up. Like, of course it will. It's okay that it does also. But here's the thing that you now have moving forward. And don't worry, we're going to go another step here. But you know you can access grateful joy no matter what's happening. I mean, if you can do it with what you just described, the loss of a friend so recent and business partner, and the transition of a marriage, and you can literally do what you just did, go inside yourself and feel grateful joy, like you can do this anytime in your life moving forward. Right?
Let's do some more.
like your bad day in 6 months isn't your challenge today. Right? Like this is all part of what I mean by opportunity, right? You can embrace this moment, this period of time that is not forever. It's a period of time. Right? And you get to decide how you're going to play this game inside this period of time and ultimately who you're going to become in the future. Right? And you've clearly already said, I'm going to leverage an opportunity for growth because you're talking to me right now. Right. And so if you continue to leverage it in that way, like that creates momentum. Is that fair? So now you got this anchor, right? We're going to call it an anchor called grateful joy, because when you're in the experience of grateful joy, your brain, your nervous system literally can't produce sadness. It can't produce depression. It can't produce stress, can't produce rage, jealousy, all the things that are normal to experience when we're going through transitions like you're describing. Is that fair?
I hear you.
And so the point is you have a place you can go now. Okay. Now let's go ahead and now share with me. If you think about, we'll do each of them, right? We'll start with the marriage first. When you think about the marriage and it sounds like you're just wrapping up that process from what you shared earlier, what fear-based emotion would you say you've gotten most caught in the last few months or a year, whatever that's been for you?
The fear of the unknown.
Okay, fear.
Yeah, the apprehension, a questioning of my ability to make good decisions. Lack of confidence, a lack of value. I mean, I could put a solid list together of how devastating it can feel if you're caught in these moments.
So the theme that I'm hearing is doubt.
No question.
Right? Like there's fear there, but if I were to name that quality of fear based on how you're sharing with me, that quality of fear is doubt. Like I'm like, wait a minute, this thing was supposed to work out. It didn't. What does it mean for the future? So on and so forth. Is that fair? So tell me, just without thinking about it too much, right? And it's okay to feel that fear. Like it bubbles up right now a little bit, just focusing on it. Fair. And so without thinking too much, just share with me the first thing that comes to your mind. Hey man, I feel doubt because
I feel doubt because I put failure so far in front of me that I don't know what else to look at. I can only see failure in front of me.
Mm-hmm. So when you say you feel failure in front of you, where are we focused there?
In the past.
You got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I sense it. I sense it. Yeah.
So what's great there is notice that, because when you were sharing earlier and I said, oh, pause a moment, where are we focused? Right? Mm-hmm. It's the expectation that your current reality repeats itself. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely true. Yeah.
And right now, how are we defining failure?
By the past.
True. But what is the thing that's happening in your current circumstances that has defined failure for you?
Oh, well, the experience of ending my marriage, and then the doubt that I can do something differently with my life.
Yeah. So why don't we redefine failure? How about that?
Great.
Right? Because right now there's this expectation, which we all hopefully have when we're getting married. Not everybody has this expectation, right? I've talked to people who are like, Joey, when I was walking down the aisle, I knew I was making the biggest mistake in my life. It's like, that is not the way to start something, right? Yep. But hopefully that's not how we start it, right? Most of the time we have the expectation, it's going to be wonderful. We're going to be happily ever after. Here's this beautiful life and family we're going to create together. And so the idea of failure is that the intention of vision didn't occur. Is that fair? Now, what occurs there is sometimes we internalize that and we go, I failed. It failed. But is that a failure, or is it really just an expectation we had didn't occur?
Oh, it's unmet expectation. There's no question about that.
Great. Yeah. How long ago did you marry?
7 years ago.
All right. So if you think about yourself 7 years ago, who you were, what you knew, right? And you chose to get married. How old were you 7 years ago?
35.
All right. 35?
36. Yep.
Were you all knowing?
I know. I might have thought it was, but I clearly was not. Yeah.
Yeah. Meaning we did the best we could with what we knew. So we had some strengths and we had some deficits, some things we didn't know. We had things we knew, we had things we didn't know. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
And you made the best decision you could based on the things you knew and the things you didn't know. Is that fair?
Absolutely true.
All right. Have you made other decisions in your life based on the best information that you had at the time?
Yes.
And have you made decisions that haven't worked out?
Interestingly enough, I have.
Probably. If you've made it this far in life, you've probably done that a bunch.
Right. No question.
Right. And you've made some decisions that worked out. Is that also fair?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. In the space where things haven't worked out, did you deem yourself a failure and doubt your future?
I certainly not to this degree. No.
See, the emotions are more intense here, but you're not a failure. It's just a matter of I'm learning something. Right? At the end of a relationship, can you see things you could not see at the beginning? True or false?
Absolutely true. Yes.
Give me something that you clearly see in this evolution of your relationship, because there's an ending happening and then you have a child together, I heard. So there's a new beginning, right? So this isn't the end of your relationship. It's an end of a chapter, and then you're going to raise a child together. Is that fair?
Correct. Yes.
So at the end of this chapter, tell me something you know, having gone through the journey.
I'm stronger than I gave myself credit. I did not know I could survive this much chaos in life.
All right. So does that strength prepare you for a better or worse future?
Well, absolutely prepares me for the future.
Okay. So are you more or less capable of great decisions moving forward?
I'm less confident in saying I'm more. I genuinely believe that I should be. And that's why I'm talking to you, right? To help get over that hurdle, get past that,
Okay. And let's fast forward. I don't know. We'll go out 5 years. I said 10 years earlier, right? When you access that, I think it was grateful joy was your word, right? Is kind of the embodiment. If we go 5 years out, based on the experience that you've had and the learning process you're diving into, right? It led us to having a conversation, that willingness to learn and grow.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to make the decision about who you're with next and how you engage that relationship differently than the one that's closing?
I certainly will make different decisions. There's no question about that.
Would you have been able to make those different decisions had you not had this experience?
Not even close.
Great. So we'll go back to that same question. Are you more or less capable moving forward?
I'm more capable. I'm more.
There we go.
I hear you.
Awesome.
I'm getting there.
Right. So here's my recommendation, right? Define failure. For me, I have one definition to failure, and that's it. I only fail if I quit. So if there's a vision that I have, like the vision you just shared of the relationship you aspire to, the only way, in my opinion, that you fail that vision is to quit the pursuit of discovering that love and that relationship that you deserve. To let this pain dictate your future in such a way you don't let yourself be vulnerable again, and you don't let yourself love again, and you hold yourself back. The only way to fail is to not realize the vision that you just shared that was so clear and so real and so possible for you. Any vision worth fulfilling is going to have some bumps in the road and some craters and some boulders and some explosions and some landmines. True or false?
Absolutely true.
And the visions that we fulfill and actually succeed in, they're not worth it if we don't have some of those things to overcome. Fair?
Absolutely true.
Yeah. So yes, it's okay to be afraid. Yes, it's okay to doubt. That grateful joy is the place that you can access and take your next step. And, that's how you not only get through this thing, but see a better reality tomorrow. What occurs in that moment?
I mean, in that 5-year mark, there's a training under my belt. There's like a sense of a bigger tool belt full of freaking awesome tools that I can access that are more articulate and more specific and less extreme. Yeah.
Beautiful. You're more capable.
Yeah.
That's it. So now when you think of your friend that recently passed, what would you say the primary emotion is that's present in that space?
Gratitude for what he's taught me.
Wow. That's huge. Because when you share that, like you're clearly in that experience of it. And that's not common with something so fresh as this.
To hear the rest of this episode and access the corresponding resources, visit thedivorcedadvocate.com and become a member of our community. It's free to join and will provide you with the resources you deserve as a divorced or divorcing dad. Thank you for listening. God bless, and I'll talk with you next week.